I don't have like music or anything. Molly always has music. I just have pom poms, and I am not singing. Hello, hello, hello. It is just me from the Consignment Chats world this week. Molly and Libby are on the Reseller relaxation cruise that left California on Monday. So they're out living their best life, vacationing with other resellers, having a grand old time. So I invited my friend Nisha on, Picks by Nisha. And she's a member of our Patreon and our community, and she sells jewelry and has a YouTube channel and all the fun things. So I will put her link tree here on the bottom, Picks by Nisha, and your Picks by Nisha like on all the platforms, right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I made a conscious decision when I went to selling on multiple platforms that I wanted to have a name that I could use across platforms.
Yes, it's easy to remember. I like it.
Oh, good.
Um, yeah, so if you guys go head on over to YouTube, or you're already on YouTube, look for Picks by Nisha. That's her picture. And what kind of videos do you post? Like, what kind of things do you sell? Who is Picks by Nisha?
So I sell a lot of jewelry, mostly costume jewelry, some silver, and then I do. I also have a YouTube channel, which you just mentioned, where I have hauls, jewelry hauls, where I show things that I find at rummage sales, garage sales, sometimes book sales will have
Oh,
jewelry.
yes. Mm-hmm.
So those can be a lot of fun. And then I also um,
Like, do you just sell jewelry, or I know you're niching down into just jewelry,
yeah,
but you also sell a lot of books, right?
so a lot of books, and then also a lot of playbills.
Oh, yes, I forgot about those. That's fun. I don't know anything about those at all. But that's super. If I saw one, I probably wouldn't even know what it was. It's a pamphlet. That's fun. I love every time you come on camera. I love seeing all your stacks of jewelry trays behind you because it's so well organized and looks so nice, and it just makes me happy every time. I love your whole system back there.
Oh yeah, thank you. I have like about 220 trays behind me, and then I have another rack where I'm starting to fill that in again with. It's going to be eventually filled with the all the jewelry racks. And
Awesome.
I have one near me. So they have different inserts in them.
Yes. All the ways to organize and keep things straight. I love it. Someday, I don't know, I might do something like that for like my game board pieces or my game pieces. Um I love selling board games and piecing them out, parting them out. And I also want to travel a lot in a couple years when my daughter is graduated. So I've been looking at different ways to like convert RVs and motorhomes and have like storage space and stuff in them.
Mm.
And those trays would work really well for the small pieces and stuff. And then I could put them up above in the cabinets that I've been thinking about. I don't know. I
Yeah.
also might buy a cabin in the mountains somewhere and never travel at all. We'll see.
Yeah, I met another reseller and she wanted to travel in an RV and she was talking about wanting to get into jewelry. And I also mentioned scarves. Um,
Oh, yes.
I don't sell a lot of them, just it's not something I've focused on, but they barely take up any space at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. Haven't sold a lot of scarves. I sell a lot of scarves in my Facebook auction group because they can go quick there, but I haven't sold a lot online. It's a good one. Scarves, they don't take up a lot of space. And then there's the obvious, like cards and ephemera and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know anything about sports cards or any of that stuff. Or I don't. And I like looking at like old postcards and letters and whatnot. But I don't know if that's like a thing for me to sell. I have listed some ephemera, but it's not really my thing. I don't know. I really like board games.
Well, I would stick with that because I will grab a board game every once in a while, but I don't really like dealing with them because there's so many moving parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think
It
that's
brings
cool.
it brings me so much joy when somebody spends like the other day somebody spent $12 on just these little wooden tokens, and I was like, yes, I paid $1 for that whole game. And these people, and then it also makes me happy because they're like finishing their, completing their set, or replacing parts and stuff, and so it like gave them what they needed. I don't know, I really like it. But it's like you have to be like really high volume for that, because $12 for some wooden pieces is like the highest I'm selling most of these things for.
Okay.
So most things are going for $9 or $7 for the pieces plus shipping. But I'd have to sell a lot of that to actually make it. Like that's a lot different than, me selling car parts for a couple $100s. Board game pieces, I'd have to sell a lot to pay the bills. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Also, by the time I niche down, I've said this before, by the time I like liquidated all my inventory and niche down just to game parts and had it going, I'd probably be bored out of my mind. And then I'd go to a garage sale and I'd see a bunch of blow molds, and I'd have those like strapped to the roof of my motorhome or something because I just couldn't class them up. Like, can you imagine that? Just me and Bill driving down the road in a motorhome with blow molds hanging out on the top.
Oh gosh, that's so funny.
That'd be great. Okay, so April. I first of all have to talk about our episode that just came out this morning or last night on some areas. And we did a recap for Listapalooza. For those of you watching, if you don't know what Listapalooza is, I don't know how you don't know that, because we talk about it all the time, everywhere. But it is just a friendly competition amongst resellers that we host in our community. This time around, we hosted it in the Patreon. So we did have a lot less participants as we were trying to transition people over to Patreon, but it was awesome. Everybody was so involved, and we had lots of come list with us sessions where we would just open it up and have a Zoom where everybody could work together and list together. Yeah, I love those. I love hanging out with everybody. And we do those on List Perfectly as well. We have our listing parties, which I'll talk about the ones I'm doing this week in a little bit. But it's really awesome having it in our Patreon too, because we get a little bit of everything. You get people that are using other platforms, you get brick and mortar stores, your store owners and managers, and you just get a huge mix of people that are doing consignment, people that aren't. It's a big misconception because we're Consignment Chats. You don't have to do consignment to be in Consignment Chats. Do you do consignment, Nisha?
I've done it for a couple of different people, but I found out through my husband that I had this odd tendency that when I would get a consignment item, I would totally focus on just the consignment pieces and not the other things that I purchased to sell in the business. Yeah. And I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Yeah. That's a huge thing. Like I always give consignment a priority, and because you're like obligated to those people to get that stuff up and get it going and put your all into it. But then there was a period last winter or a couple winters ago, I had to stop sourcing for myself because I still like to thrift and garage sale and all that. And I had to totally stop because my stuff had all got set aside and was taking up like an entire room of my house because I just always focused on the consignment. And I'll get to that another time. It's just mine. And then I had a whole money mountain of things that I had sourced. So I quit sourcing for 4, 5, 6 months, something like that. and which just about killed me because I missed a lot of garage sale season, and we only have a couple months of garage sale season up here.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and we didn't take any thrifting trips or anything like that. But I cleaned up all of the excess and the stuff. And now during the summer, I just switched my schedule to my summer schedule for consignments, and I don't take consignment drop-offs on Mondays and Tuesdays. So those are my days to focus and clean up and list anything that I did over the weekend, because I know that usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to hit some sort of garage sale or an estate sale or go thrifting. And then that way I have time to catch up. I also do a lot of camping in the summertime, normally Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So this way, Mondays and Tuesdays, nobody's dropping off new stuff. Nobody's at my house bugging me. I can just, do my shipping, do my listing, and focus and regroup for the week. So that took me a while to get that schedule down because, otherwise all my stuff just went to the wayside, which is not good because you got to have a good mix. I like a good mix in there. So you don't currently do consignment, but you knew if a situation arose that someone asked about consignment, or it might be a good like bargaining chip, you obviously have the tools to do that and know about it, so you could bargain and set that.
Yeah, and I know where obviously where the resources are to come and ask questions, and I feel like now that I've been reselling for a longer period of time, that I feel more comfortable selling other types of items too, or even just jewelry. Because I think sometimes when people have asked me to sell things for consignment, it was far beyond my knowledge base.
Yes.
And I was uncomfortable pricing things at that level.
Yeah. I had a conversation about that in one of our listing parties recently on List Perfectly. One of my very first consigners, a huge red flag consigner, and I never should have taken her on. But also she really probably shouldn't have consigned with me to begin with. I didn't know anything about her stuff. She just had a lot of stuff and she needed to clear out her house and she wanted to downsize and get rid of everything. Turns out she was super picky about it and used to have an antique store, and she had such high demand. So I ended up packing all her stuff back up and bringing it back to her. Rest her soul, Miss LaDonna, you were fantastic. But she was very sweet, and we had talked for years afterwards, but we were not the right fit for each other. But I look back now and I'm like, oh, if I could consign all those things now. Like, she had amazing lucite grape lanterns and fixtures and so many things that I was just like, who wants a grape on their chandelier? Like, this is dumb. And now I'm like, oh my God, we could have made so much money together. Like, she was one of those consigners that no matter what I did, she was never going to be happy. So we still wouldn't have been able to make money together. But now I'm just so much more open to things, because the more you sell, the more you do, and the more you're able to comp and like understand platforms. Even if you've never sold those items before, you have resources. We have communities. We have people that we can reach out to and talk to that, the more you do it, the more equipped you are to handle lots of different things.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand about the picky customer, because I actually I worked with a couple, and the husband was very, very particular, and I tried to consign a few things, and I realized that I just couldn't work with this personality type. So I just, I was very professional, but it was just like, okay, this isn't going to work.
It's not worth the stress. There's so many items out there and so many people you can work with that it is not worth the stress if personalities don't mesh. Like, it's a hard conversation to have and it's a hard situation, but you're better off for it when you realize it's not the right fit. Let's see here. I'm looking through all of our things. So we talked about listing parties. I might as well say, so while the ladies are gone on their cruise, I have been having some reseller relaxation shipwrecked parties because I'm stuck here. So I scheduled 10 listing parties this week. Listing parties are Zoom sessions that List Perfectly hosts. Anybody that has List Perfectly is able to go on and set up a listing party account. It's totally free as long as you are part of List Perfectly and have any type of their membership. So you can set up a profile and then you have access to these parties. And some parties are motivational. Some parties you set goals. Some parties you listen to someone talk about jewelry. Nisha does parties. They can be all different things. And then some of them are you just are in there to hang out and chill out. And so I am just in there to hang out and chill out. And we came up with themes, Jill and I did, months ago when I signed up for these 10 parties this week. So we have already had Hawaiian Day and Pajama Day, and today is Jersey Day, which, funny story, I sold the jersey that I was going to wear for today. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. And then we have Hat Day and Rainbow Day. And let's see, Monday was Hawaiian Day. So that's how I showed up. I went to the good old Dollar Tree. I also had like a Hawaiian cup that lit up and it looked like a palm tree. And
I would have liked to seen that. That's great.
Yeah, actually, let me find it because that turned out to be. It's right in the other room. It turned out to be like a bolo.
And I see Becky's in the chat. Hey, Becky. It's great to see you. And oh, that's fun.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff. Would rather pick through what people want me to consign than have them give me their money makers. Yes, people don't know what their money makers are. What non-resellers think is valuable and what those of us that can comp and know what the market is like know what's valuable. They're usually two different things, which is why when I do consignment, I don't set like a limit. Like I don't say like, oh, you can only bring me things that are worth this much or in these categories, because people don't know. And the market changes. Sometimes those Arizona jeans, if they're a certain style, people think that they're junk. They can be good. It just depends on what's happening. So this cup I bought at the Dollar Tree, $1.25. And I didn't know until halfway through the party that it lights up.
Awesome.
So it's super fun. I'm definitely going to take it camping. Then I ran comps on it because I was like, well, that's fun. How is that only $1? People are selling cases of these for like 2 or 3 times more than they bought them for.
Wow.
And then individually, they're selling for like $15 plus, with shipping. So like $10 plus shipping. So I might have to go up and get more of them. They came in different colors and there was a few of each one. And I was like, I might have to list those. Also, my daughter said that she wants one for camping. She's like, they light up. She was so excited. Yeah. So that was fun. So that was day 1 was Hawaiian Day. And then day 2 was Pajama Day. Yesterday. Also, these theme days are like 4 p.m. Eastern. So like at 3:50, I'm running around going, oh gosh, what do I wear for pajamas? Like, what could I forgot I even had these hot rollers. Like,
I love the rollers.
I had to dig. I used to use them all the time. And this morning I was curling my hair and I was like, maybe I should get those hot rollers out and start using those again. I don't know how they'll do with my shorter hair, but yeah, so that's the fun that we have. Also, the clay mask that I put on my cheeks and my nose, love it. I don't know. Oh, I still have it sitting here. Don't know why I haven't used this more. It made my cheeks feel great, except you're supposed to take it off within like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And once it dries. So I made my cheeks really wet, which is not the instructions. I made them really wet and I put it on and I'm like, that'll make it last longer. It did. It made it last a little bit longer, but then my face was super tight. And I was like, by the time I went to do it, I was like, guys, I don't feel like I just got Botox on my cheeks. Like it was. But it was super great. It's Generation Clay Ultraviolet Brightening Purple Clay Mask. Don't know where I got it. Don't know why I have it, but it was great. So those are the kind of silly things that we've been doing over there in Listing Party. And then for those of you who haven't noticed, the last couple months, I've been putting out this list of events in our Facebook community. And I also post it in our Patreon for every Patreon to see. So that just, and then you can click on the link and see like times and details and what each thing means. But I like doing that. Not only lets all of you guys know what's going on, keeps me on board with what's going on too. I find myself referencing it a lot because we have so many things on our calendar. I can at least look at the list and go, okay, these are the 3 things that I actually have going on today, like that are a priority.
You all do so many things.
It's a lot. Yeah. Luckily there's 3 of us. So normally it's not that bad. Like we divide and conquer, and Molly and Libby do a lot. Samantha comes in here and smiles and does weird things like this, and then it all works out. And now that they're gone, I'm like, holy cow, I have to look at our email. I have to like respond to people's comments. I gotta keep up on stuff. Like, what is this? And then if that wasn't all enough, so I'm doing the 2 listing parties per day, a 4 p.m. Eastern and a 9 p.m. Eastern.
Wow.
It is strictly just to hang out and chill out with people. I love seeing people dress up in their little costumes because we figured like cruises have theme days, so we should have theme days too. Yeah. And then the 9 p.m. one, we're just relaxing. I did list last night. I listed a lot of pants. Had a little cocktail. Other people came in and had some cocktails, and we just hung out. So that's all that is. And then I've been adding some extra come list with us days in our Patreon. Me and cool. Janice is the name of my mannequin.
Oh, mine is Millie.
Millie. Okay. Millie the mannequin. I like that.
And I have a funny story about that.
Yes. Tell me. Yes.
Okay. So she always scared me when I walk into the room. I go, oh, there's a person over there.
I love it. Yes. I may have set mine up at the end of my daughter's bed one night just to mess with her. Yeah. So my funny story with Janice is Maria named her. I don't even know how she ended up to be Janice. I just know that my daughter named her when she was younger, like 10 years ago. So she was like 6 or 7. And when people would come over, I would be up in my office working. Someone would come to the door or they would come in and ask for me. And Maria would say, oh, she's playing with Janice upstairs. Or, oh, her and Janice need alone time. Because I would tell Maria, like, give me the next hour alone in my office, and then I'll do X, Y, and Z with you. Her and Janice are upstairs having alone time in the spare bedroom. Like, they're what this child on so many stories of me and Janice. I'm sure people thought I was having like some weird affair. Yeah, so that's Janice. I actually, OG Janice, my mom has. And then when I got the new mannequin, Maria said it still had to be Janice. So this is like 2nd generation Janice.
Okay.
Yeah. No, she scared me before too. It's just a silhouette over in the corner sometimes. And you like glance out of the corner of your eye and you're like, oh, there's a person standing there. Or so I stuck mine in my daughter's room the one night, like middle of the night. So she would wake up and wonder what the heck was over there. Cause I'm kind of mean like that. And it was hilarious. It was great. She woke up the next morning and she come out of her room and she's like, you're so mean to me. I'm like, well, you woke up, right? You're good. So for those that want to jump in on stories like that and hanging out with us while we are listing and using Millie and Janice, make sure to join our Patreon because that is where I've been posting extra come list with us for free members. So you don't have to join, like you don't have to pay for a tier in our Patreon if you just want to, go to the bonus stuff. List-a-paloozas are bonuses, and weeks like this week when I want to do extra stuff, bonuses. We also do coaching and branding, and we have accountabilities and all those kind of things. Like those, there's tiers for, but there are free things over there, and that's how you get the most up to date, like our list of events and things like that. So I guess 25 minutes into this, how was your April, Nisha? How were sales for you?
Well, if I compared April to the first quarter, they were down. But I said, well, let's compare this year April to last year April. And I did this, and I'm on 3 platforms mainly. So I'm on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and itty bitty bit on Etsy as I learn it. But on eBay, I was up 14%.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed because my net sales were down because I was paying so many fees.
Oh. Did you have like promotions going on or anything different than normal, or just fees went up in general?
I'm wondering if it's a combination of because the fees include shipping and eBay fees. And then I'm not quite sure where the ad fees come in, because I'm not sure if those are taken out separately, because I do promotions, which is where you pay when something sells. But on the other, but I did pay more for shipping, and I paid more for the fees. So I'm wondering if maybe I was shipping out more items that were free shipping, because I have free shipping on a lot of my items in my store.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and then the fees, I'm not sure about it. I'm going to have to.
I don't remember offhand where that part comes in for the promoted listings and stuff, because I do promote almost all of my items at 3%. Like I promote all of eBay. I don't promote Poshmark or anything on there because I don't think that really makes a difference. But yeah, I don't remember how the fees are broken down, but I think they're lumped into that big, like, this is what you made, this is what we took out, and then you have to break it down from there to see what's what. But I could be totally wrong. It's been a while since I like dove into it.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure on that, but but I think the other platforms, I was doing really well comparing the 2 different Aprils. So
good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love comparing to the last year because I'm also in a growth mode. So it's not as drastic as it was the 2 years before because I'm more established now. But yeah, when I compare month to month, I'm like, oh, April was down and it wasn't that great. But then when I compare to last year, I was up quite a bit as well. So that definitely makes me feel better. And I like looking at the overalls like that. Let me pull up my eBay. Was definitely my number one. I had like 75% of my sales were on eBay. Now, this is my fault. So Etsy was my number 2. I had 20% of my sales on Etsy.
Wow.
And then Poshmark and Mercari were like 2% each. But I have not been cross-listing very well too. It's been very sporadic what I cross-list to Etsy or to Mercari and Poshmark. Etsy, I've been pretty consistent. When I get vintage items, I put them up there, or things that are handmade. So I keep about 300-400 items on there. I'd say about 300 items on Etsy. I have 1,400 items altogether right now. So 300 of them go to Etsy. And then I'm very sporadic on Poshmark and Mercari, so I can't complain that my sales are sporadic over there. Like, if I'm sporadic, I'll list like 20 items on one night, maybe 2 nights in a row, and then I won't cross list anything else over there for a week or more. So I'm getting what I put into it. That's my fault.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, the consistency thing is important.
It is. It is important. And I got a new phone the other day, so my old phone was cracked.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually was listing with it, and I was taking and this is like deep. Like I can't believe my screen still works. I was taking photos and taking something off my mannequin, and I would just always tuck it under my arm, which is terrible. Don't tuck your phones under your arms. But it's a bad habit I have. So I would tuck my phone under my arm, and I was like pulling off the shirt or the dress or whatever it was on Janice, and my phone fell. And I'm an everything seller that's kind of messy and disorganized. So in my office, I had just listed some car parts, and I had some mufflers and some Peterbilt semi-truck muffler mounts. And they are in the shape of a U, and they are
Okay.
like cast iron and heavy. And my phone fell perfectly
Oh,
flat on the tip of one of the sides of the mounts. So it just had this huge gouge in it. That happened a while ago, and I just was like, no, I don't need a new phone. It's fine. This one's working. Finally upgraded, got a new phone, and which I love. But then I'm like missing things because I like forgot to log into Mercari, or I logged into the Etsy app, but not the Etsy seller app, or like stuff like that. So God, Mercari sent me a text this morning when I had a sale on there. It was the first sale I've had there in like a week or 10 days or something, because of my fault, not because of Mercari's. And yeah, I was really glad when they texted me because I would have totally missed that sale. Hi, Joe. What's up?
hey.
The other ladies left me alone, Joe. They left me alone.
Oh,
I think Joe and Nicole recently had a vacation as well. So that's awesome. I'm the only one not taking vacations. I'm just over here doing my own thing with my light up cups. So yeah, one thing I did with my new phone. So I have my new phone that has everything on it, and I'll just keep trying to remember to log into all the things I need to log into as those happen. And my old phone, which still works perfectly fine, it just has the busted screen. I totally reset it, and I put, it doesn't have a SIM card or anything, like no service, it just has Wi-Fi. All I put on here was a link to Consign Cloud, and I downloaded Photo Room, and that's it. Has nothing else on it. And I have you can't see it. I have a screensaver that says stay focused.
It's always good.
Yes, and it's on the front and back. So I get so distracted. I will be doing something, and then a Facebook notification comes in. The next thing you know, I spent 20 minutes flipping through reels, or we get an email, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to pay my water bill tomorrow. Oh, well, we'll just take care of that right now. And the next thing I know, I'm spending 30 minutes on bills when that was on my schedule the next day. Like, I'm very easily distracted. So I'm going to keep, I started doing this last night once I got these set up. I'm going to keep my phone that has all the things on it in another room when it's my calendar says listing time. And I am going to just list on this phone because I list right into Consign Cloud. It doesn't matter where my photos are or what I'm doing. It goes right into the cloud, and it's on my website as soon as I take pictures. So yeah, I'm going to try that and hopefully be more productive. Last night was more productive, but then I felt very overwhelmed when I went into the other room and grabbed my phone and had to catch up on everything. So it's going to be an adjustment. And I do still have my watch if somebody like tries to call me or there's something urgent.
Okay.
I always worry about that with my kids and stuff. So it'll at least like alert me, but I'm not like interacting and being crazy with it. So yeah, that's something. But we always say in Consignment Chats to give something 3 months. So I'm going to have to try this out like all summer long and then see if it's really the best fit or if I just need to sell the phone. We'll see.
I think it's a good idea. Give it the 3-month try and see how it goes.
Yeah, see if it makes me more productive. It doesn't help that I log into listing parties and do all that too while I'm doing it. So I'm still distracted, but I did get a lot of stuff listed last night. So I think it's gonna work. I don't know. Let's see what else. So eBay is obviously our number one. Etsy was my number two. April was kind of down, but so we talked about Mercari. We both sell on Mercari.
Mm-hmm.
Last month they did that thing that everybody freaked out about where they said they're not going to have any seller fees. They're only going to have buyer fees. Other than the fact that I'm not cross-posting enough, I haven't noticed any difference to my sales over there. I'm still getting, 1 or 2 sales a week for the most part. And I'm not getting any crazy like lowball offers. People are paying what I'm asking or accepting the offers that I'm sending. Have you noticed any difference in the last month or so?
No, I mean, it definitely slowed down since first quarter, but I don't think that has anything to do with the change in the fee structure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's going to, slowing down anyways. And we
Yeah.
normally get like a rush of people getting tax money and stuff. But I think a lot of this year's tax money, people are putting towards their bills and necessities. So we didn't get like that extra little surge, or at least a lot of people I didn't notice got that extra surge. But yeah, it's a normal slowdown. I think Mercari's are just fine. I now get ads that Vestaire. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Oh yeah, Vestaire Collective, or yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever sold on there?
I tried, but I didn't have branded items of that higher end to that people were looking for. My things were higher end vintage pieces, which didn't make sense for that platform. So I tried it for a couple months, and then I realized this isn't, this is a waste of time.
Yeah. I've never even looked into them. So I don't know if they've always done this or if they're like jumping on a bandwagon, but I've been getting ads that they don't have seller fees anymore either.
Oh, wow.
So maybe this is going to be like a trend where we're swapping things around. I don't know. They're also both small platforms. I mean, Mercari is a little bit larger because you can sell everything on there and there's no limit. But in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty small. And then the Vestaire Collective is also very small because it's so niche. So I don't like ever see like eBay going away with seller fees or anything like that. They're huge, but it might be a trend for some of the smaller ones to try to get more of a market there.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the percentages between the different platforms that I sell at, and there was a big change for me between how much I was making on Posh from last April to this April, because it went up by 5 times. Yeah. So, and
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, but it really, I don't know why Posh gets more of my attention than Mercari. I'm more consistent cross posting to Poshmark. Oh, because it's easier.
See, everybody says Poshmark is easier, and I think Mercari is easier to cross list too.
Oh, really? Okay.
But so my argument to that is I don't like picking a category on Poshmark. I mean, like we both have List Perfectly, and they make it so easy. You put in all your stuff in List Perfectly, and as long as you have like a good title and you fill in all the things, both Mercari and Poshmark pretty much fill in everything for you. The difference is Poshmark makes you drop down boxes and figure out what category things go into.
That's true.
For the most part, Mercari suggests the right category. You just click and it gives you like 6 options and you pick which one is the category you want. Sometimes you have to drop down boxes and that's a pain in the butt. But for the most part, they're on it and I don't have to do a lot of clicks. And I hate trying to find the category because every platform is different and I just want to list a cardigan and I don't know if it's under sweaters or tops or blouses or whatever. I just want to list it. So That's my frustration with Poshmark, but they are both very easy to list to.
Yeah, I think for me, Macari had a lot of different things going on, and some of it was on my end where with List Perfectly, I wasn't getting, I wasn't using my templates correctly and getting good keywords in there
Oh,
so
yeah.
that Macari would recognize and put my item in the right place, because I found that that was really important.
Yeah.
And then there were so many times I tried to cross post or cross list over to Macari, and it would lose some of my data and it wouldn't be working that day. So I just gave up. And then other times, and a lot of times I have to change my shipping all the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time.
So that, I think that's why I have an easier time on Mercari, is because shipping on there is an absolute bear, and you always have to keep an eye on it, and you have to enter in the weights, even if you already had them in. And I do free shipping on Mercari. I do free ship, and I mark things up 20%, and then boom, I'm done. So I think that's why it's so streamlined for me, is because shipping is a pain in the butt on there. And I decided to not deal with it.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of stuck because I have like over 4,000 items listed over there. And I think it would, I don't know, I see what you think. I think it would confuse people to go from one listing in jewelry that was free shipping and one listing that wasn't free shipping if I switched my business policy or business model.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the only platform that I do free shipping on. And it can be confusing even for me to list it, or when I have VAs or helpers, I have to be like very clear, like this is what you do when you list on this platform, this is what you do on this one. So yeah, it's something that I had to play around with a lot to get it taken care of, but it's my flow now. That being said, I don't cross list over there as much as I should, so I need to do that better anyways. All right. I do have to wrap up because we have a come list with us in a little while in our Patreon group for our higher members. And I am actually going to dog sit, because that's my side hustle, is dog sitting for people so that I can work from their homes with their adorable little cuddle bugs. So I have to run over and start dog sitting for someone. So let's make sure that if you want to find Nisha, you go to her link tree, Picks by Nisha. She is Picks by Nisha on all the platforms. And when you find her on YouTube, which you should, she's a wealth of knowledge in jewelry. And she does, haul videos and goes through each item and stuff over there. She is Picks by Nisha, and this is what her logo looks like for on there. So go check her out. I also should mention, I've hardly mentioned Consign Cloud, other than the fact that I do like, it's quick. It's on my phone now, the phone that I wiped. That's all I got. Photo Room and Consign Cloud. I can list right in Consign Cloud on my mobile, take the pictures, do the things, and it automatically sends all that stuff to my Shopify. So boom, those listings are live on at least one place, my website. My local people are on there. I mean, I do have to push the traffic to there. It's not like I'm getting a ton of sales through Shopify in itself, but it's quick. And then I can push them out everywhere else after that. Well, that's not what I wanted. Nope, not that one. But they do, Consign Cloud is sponsoring this live, and I had it down there several times during this, but I just wanted to shout them out. Use code CHATS to try them out. They are not only good just for consignment inventory, but also for all the other inventory, just to keep things straight. You can organize things by shelf and bin, and it has automatic SKUs. And there's so many things I love about Consign Cloud. I've used them for many, many years. So definitely check them out. Ask us all the questions. They CEO and their marketing manager and like all their people are in our Consignment Chats Facebook community. So anybody that has questions about Consign Cloud, or they do have a free version if you want to know what their free version has and what each level has, or each thing that they do, you can ask all the questions you want in our community, and they're right there to help us. So there's that. I think that's about it. I think I handled all my obligations for this for this live by myself. Thank you, Nisha, for coming and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it was wonderful hanging out with you.
When it's just me rambling, it's not so great. So thank you for sitting there and smiling while I rambled. All right, everybody have an awesome rest of your day. I hope to see you guys in the Patreon or a listing party or wherever I'm going to be this week. And I will also be live on Friday here on YouTube doing some unboxing of consignment. I will be by myself, but I won't be listing because I couldn't handle both at the same time very well. So I'm going to unbox some consignment and we can both be surprised of what my consignment clients are bringing me. Could be great, could be scary. I don't know. So I will see you guys on Friday. Everybody have a good day.